welcome back everybody to NHC. And oh wait, you're telling me it's been 2 months and I'm just gonna jump right back in? No, of course not. I'm gonna kind of just preface this video by saying I'm sorry for the over 2-month delay on this video. You're about to watch the first clip and I'm about to say it's like the 1st of or 2nd of January, and it's obviously not anymore since it's March now. I've been a little behind, but I'm sorry. I will try not to do it again, but I've been busy with school. The good news is though, we got quite a few projects done and I have some big plans for the next episode. So while you guys watch this video, I'm gonna actually go get started on the next one so it's not so late this time. Enjoy the best you can. I'll see you guys later. I have been kind of getting to work. It doesn't look like a lot, but this entire beach, it goes almost all the way around. I haven't finished the back just yet, but it took, I don't know, all of yesterday pretty much, and I'm currently recording on January 2nd. So Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a good New Year's and all of that. But we have some big plans for this year and for this world, and I think we should go ahead and get started. But before we actually move on and go do what we want, I'd like to actually thank everybody for the amount of support on the last video. It was my best performing video yet. At the moment, we're up to 66 subscribers, so you guys over doubled my sub count just in a matter of 2 days. So it tells me, I guess I'm doing something right, I guess. But thank you for all the support, because you guys have just boosted everything. It tells me what I need to change and all of that. So thank you again for all the views and all the subscribers. I do hope to keep improving myself and on these videos and getting these out a little bit more, because I'm enjoying spending time on the server, spending time with people, and YouTube is always kind of just a random thing, but you guys are definitely showing support and I really appreciate it, so thank you. But let's head over to the team base right over here, and what we're actually going to do is build our sector today, which means you guys are about to get the base revealed. So let's hit a little bit of a time lapse here, and you're about to find out the idea for the entire base. Oh baby, is she done? She looks pretty good. And I mean, you guys know the base now. It's, well, sort of, I guess you could, I'd hope you can guess it. It's a jungle. We're gonna make a massive jungle that will span across everything we have out here. So all of this up here on the cliff, everything down there by the volcano, we gotta finish up that volcano too. But it's going to be a ton of work, because believe it or not, this small section, this was 20 stacks of azalea leaves, and it looks like nothing. And the even better part is that I want to make the actual jungle more dense than this, because, I mean, as you're walking through here, this doesn't feel very jungly. It feels like kind of a park, very open. I think this is going to be how it's going to look, kind of on the other side or right around this lake, just as our transition from our base over to Rosie's. We kind of want to spread out the jungle, kind of end the biome that we're doing here, and we don't want it just a random cutoff. So this is probably how sparse it's going to look as we kind of exit the biome, kind of transition it out in a way, fade it out as we transition into the other biomes around. but I'm pretty proud of it. Honestly, it looks better with the bushy leaves. I originally designed it with the bushy leaves, so it's how it was intended to look. It looks not as good without it, but I think it's fine. Obviously, I will be playing with the bushy leaves, so you guys will get to see it how I see it, but for other players, it might look a little awkward, but I think it'll be good once we get the entire jungle in. You won't be able to tell too much, at least the difference between the trees, because we kind of want a full canopy going on down there. Keep it Amazon jungle sort of atmosphere, I guess. But yep, overall, I'm really proud of how this is turning out. This is kind of my first rendition of our trees. Might change, might not, we'll see. As we build the trees, it might change. I might come up with a different style. It was kind of just my first go at it. And this is what our version of the base is, or a part of the base anyways. And it kind of gives you an idea of what this entire place is going to be. We will meet up with the other guys once they finish theirs. I believe they're going to finish theirs soon, so that'll probably be the next clip. Kind of talk over what we've all done. Freddy here has got his little snowy base, Duck right here. Echo hasn't been able to get on. Pub Enthusiast over here, he's been working on his in the test world. And then Blast right here. He's got this floating island base idea where he started there. So he's got a cool statue right here. A few people helped him design. But it'll look insanely cool once we have 6 different areas, all designed after our base. That's kind of the idea. So Freddy's here. He's got this keep up here that he's working on. So the snowy kind of, I guess, atmosphere is what he's going for. Duck over there, he has some Japanese builds and some kind of cherry trees that's gonna go in right in his area. Kind of matches his temple that's going in over there. Echo hasn't been able to get on. Blast, obviously, tiny islands. His statue has some wings on it. And then I believe, I'm not sure what Pub is doing, but it'll also match his base, which will be, if I can not fall in the water, somewhere over in the spruce forest, just north of my base. Slight change of plans, everybody. We're here at the train station. It's actually almost done. Whenever I get bored of doing something else, which is a lot of the time actually, I end up coming here and kind of just working on little bits and pieces. And past couple days, I've had off of school, one the weekend and then a day off, and now school got canceled today and a whole thing. Basically, I've had extra time, and I've been working on the train station, trying to get it up and running. And actually, it's functional. The entire main station here is done technical, or technical words. Hello, it's done in a technical sense. All the redstone is done. As far as I know, I might have to go. I don't know. An issue will arise. It's bound to happen, and I'll have to come in and fix it. But the point is, it's pretty much done, and it's all going to be decoration, and then the tunnels to the nether portals, that's the last bit of redstone, but that's not main station. I've considered this main station. All of this is added as we add portals and stuff. So that means we need to get in here, we need to do a little bit more of this stuff right here. We got to decorate these walls and just do a ton of decorating. Make sure we get in all these walls over here where it's all empty and you can see all the redstone. And then I think we're pretty much ready to open. So I'll get a custom event at some point. This might be next episode, might be this episode. It's already been like 2 weeks since I last recorded. So, you know, super productive over here. It might be a while, it might be in this episode, but I will try to get a server event going so we can have kind of an opening day sort of thing, get people to sign up for their modules and stuff. And then that will get, I'll tell everybody who signs up for it, they need to have a train station kind of built by the time I get to their area, because I need a place to put tunnel. Like the tunnel needs to actually get to a portal, so they have to have another train station at their base. So it gives me a little bit of time to one, set up all the sorters and everything in here, and then also make sure that their portal is set up. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same. It's just been a lot of copy and paste. Got in the recycle line, so everything is self-sustaining. Now, time to get back to building. It's a little bit hard to kind of time-lapse in here since it is underground, but if I find a way, then I'll show you guys that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in a little bit with a little bit of an update. See you guys then. obviously there's still a lot to be done, whether it's kind of the tunnel that you guys saw. I have to dig that out, probably about 700-ish blocks in each like direction of the train station just to fit the amount of portals that we're going to need. To open the place, we're doing 14 per side, stupid portals, yada yada yada, basically a lot of digging. So that's something that I need to work on. I've kind of been working on it, but it's taking too long, and it's already been like a month and a half since the last video or so. So I should probably get back to work, which leads me straight into actually kind of train station work. I'd like to get our area sorted out because I've actually been using it. I think one or two other people are as well to get over here. We need to kind of build a mine shaft here to make this look a lot better, because at the moment it looks like trash. So I'm going to come up with something, and we're going to get right into that. And then obviously train station stuff will just be off camera work. And then I have a little bit of I say a little bit, but it's a lot. We're going to change the entire cliff. And here we are with an unfinished mineshaft, like most other projects in my base. I'm not going to do it all right now because this is a pain in the butt to build. It takes forever in that tiny space to go all the way up. That's a good amount of space. And I think the worst part is having to squeeze between these blocks. And really I should have built that before I built all the scaffolding stuff, but it's fine. There's some things I want to do. I think I want to add some moss to replace some of these blocks because it feels more jungly, fits with the base. And then down here, the kind of, I guess, functionality of it is underneath there. You can see the carpet. There's powdered snow under there, so I can fall down here and take no fall damage, just like that. That's what it looks like from the bottom. Over here we have the mine carts. This is the outgoing track. This is the incoming. So once we come in from the train station, we'll end up here. If we want to go back to the train station, we'll go here. Ender chest, crafting table, and the way back up is just this little bubble column that will take us all the way up to the top through a kind of concealed little barrel, I guess, right there. So it's not like some not some stupid hole in the wall for a bubble column. But the next thing I want to do is I want to tear down the cliff because how it looks. So I designed a new one and we're gonna go build it, which means another time lapse, but it'll look cool at the end. It's got a new waterfall and everything. So I'll see you guys in a bit after we tear down our project and build a better one. And just like that, we are almost done. You might be able to see this huge, really ugly gap. This is where a waterfall is going to go. I figured I'd just, I don't know, tell you about it before I build it, rather than just including it in that same time lapse. But it's something I've never done before. I guess this entire cliff is a whole new style that I've never worked in before. We're gonna try it. It's glass, and I don't really have much else to say, so I guess let's hop into it. And that will be almost done with the cliff. Technically, I need to add a bunch of hand placed grass and stuff all over this moss, just to make it, I don't know, look better. But other than that, it's just like a river. But the cliff is gonna be done. So let's grab our waterfall materials. And now it's done. It's got all the grass and everything on it. We got the waterfall in, and that's it. I mean, for now, obviously the top needs to be worked on because I haven't done any of it. Most of this moss and grass needs to be put in. Over here, grass needs to be mixed in because it's all moss and it looks terrible. The schematic cut off here because I didn't grab the whole thing, I guess, so we're gonna have to fix that as well. But I'm gonna save that for some off-camera time whenever I feel like doing that. Which means we're gonna move on to our next little project. And we've already been kind of working on little bits around the base, so like the beach, the cliff got redone, and I really need to get this bridge done because I promised, well, sort of promised that last episode I would have done it, and I only did that bit. So you can see I already started tearing it down. I'm gonna get to texturing and finish this thing off, and then I'll come back and we can work on this. And there we have it. Our bridge is complete, minus a few other smaller details that we'll get to a little bit later in our kind of base build. But it seems like we had somebody keeping an eye on us. So Viv, I don't know if they're still here or not. But yeah, our bridge is done. The only thing that was really schematic was this, just because I used Axiom to rotate it. We'll head down there in a minute. But I'll kind of just walk us through kind of my thought process. Or I guess kind of some of the smaller details that might have been missed. And it looks like we also got a little compliment already. So, and I assume that's from Viv since it was the same sign. So thanks. That was quick. But yeah, the railings and stuff are the same as they were with our original design. I did have to space these out a little bit differently because it didn't line up correctly because I can't math apparently. Candles are still being used as little spikes, so if we take a back step, I guess, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah, you can see it's got a little bit more dimension in it, just makes it look like spikes. Obviously there are bigger ones on the pillars, and then all the way at the end we can see on these like chains and stuff, we got rebar holding it together. Or trying to. Obviously, it doesn't work too well, seeing as this pillar fell. But yeah, meant to look like rebar or something holding together kind of the concrete or the stone of this bridge. Obviously, it failed, and we have it down there as well on each of these pillars to keep it consistent. Over there is the same. I think I didn't finish completely. Yeah, I don't have the walls and stuff on this side like I should, so I'll have to get to that at some point. My bad. But if we head down here, we can see I tried to make it look like a crater kind of, or like it was, I don't know, it fell with enough force to kind of push the ground up around it. Makes it look a little bit more inset into the ground. I've never done something like that before, so I did my best. If anyone has any suggestions to make it look better, please let me know. But it will be covered by trees. Not necessarily covered, but it'll have trees around here, so you won't see it as easily as you do now. And kind of continuing on that same topic, you will be able to see from kind of a bird's eye view from up here. You'll be able to see this from straight above because the trees will kind of be along the edge where the pillar is not. It just makes more sense because this would have knocked trees down. And that actually gives us an opportunity to make fallen trees and stuff inside of the jungle. So add some variety and stuff. And just make it look a little bit more interesting throughout the jungle. And there is kind of one more thing. It's actually a big thing, but I haven't explained it yet. But since we already revealed the base, might as well go all out. This actually kind of leads us into a whole nother half of the base. So up at the top, there's going to be the jungle with all the trees and stuff, kind of similar to how we did on our sector. We're going to cover this land with jungle trees. But this is actually going to, either this episode or in the future, we're going to put a giant crack in the ground, or like kind of representing that this cracked open the ground. And we're going to dig out a giant cavern right underneath us. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of work because there's nothing dug out here. But I want to build kind of an ancient civilization, maybe Aztec style temples, stuff like that, all in an underground, I guess, just cavern. I don't really know how to explain it, but I won't go into too much detail, but this is kind of leading us down into there. But before we get there, I'd like to finish off the base up here. So it'll be a while before we get there. And it looks like we also got a little bit of a present. And based off the mustache, I'm pretty sure I could tell who made it. And it's even signed. This is from Rosie. Just a nice little rubber ducky boat. I mean, it doesn't really need a use. I don't think... Oh, look. We got nuggets in here. Got some custom textures. She says feel free to remove. I probably won't remove it. I'll probably just move it off to the side. Just to keep with our aesthetic here. Just push it off to the side so it's not so close to the beach. But someone needs to tell Rosie to stop with the mustaches. You guys don't know this, but Rosie, for the past week or so, has been kind of on a rampage with the mustaches, putting them everywhere. She put it on the bridge at one point, one in the storage room, and they're all over the world. So someone might need to reel her in. I don't know that the mustache is gonna stay once we move the duck. Sorry, but not sorry, Rosie. You gotta tone it down. No, but getting back to our projects and stuff, as we kind of started the episode off, we're gonna come back over here to the freaking horrors base, and since it's been over 2 months, more stuff has been developed. I probably won't go too in depth with everybody else's, but I'll do a quick flyby so you can see what everybody else has kind of been doing. Most of us are pretty much finished. At least all the statues are in, and our beacons. But we're actually here to kind of, show you the interior that we started on. But there's a project that we are going to be in charge of, kind of on the outside of it. So you can see right here, a shulker monster, 2, the logo, which is just a goat horn. But this is, originally, it was going to be an elevator, but it's too large to be a working elevator. We couldn't figure it out. So it's just a sitting platform. But we have 4 different wings that will all connect through corridors and stuff. But where we're going to focus right now is over in this area. So we have a garage that eventually will be built in here. with a working kind of piston door right here, so it'll raise and lower. We got camels and stuff we can roll out with. But our part of this is right out here. I think we're going to bring up the terrain and use a similar cliff to what we did over on this side. What we need is some kind of terrain that's pulled up to this level with a path that leads up both this way and off in this direction. But we can't just pull out a platform. So we are in charge of building the cliff, and I figured I could bring you guys along this time through designing it. Since it is a smaller version of what's over there, I figured I could kind of bring you guys along. It really shouldn't be that much work just because of the size difference between this and let's see if I can get over there in a decent amount of time compared to this height. So we have kind of a few options. We can kind of take this and continue it all the way around to connect it, or we could just have a smaller version. At least for now, I think we're going to do a smaller version just to save time for me. Oh, I gotta sleep real quick. But it will, if we want to in the future, we can always expand it and then add more on later. But I'm gonna take us over to the creative world that I have. It's just a copy of the seed, and then I took a schematic of the area and pasted it in so that we can see what we're working with. And then I will give you guys a little tour of my process. And here we are. Pretty much looks the exact same. Well, as it should. It was a schematic. But this time we're in creative. So let's just kind of go through my process. So my first thoughts. Here, that's not what I wanted to do. Doing things. Let's take a little screenshot here. And I'll kind of walk you through what my thought process is just by drawing. So we'll use red. I kind of want to take out maybe this section right here. Well, maybe not that low, but probably about here. And take this all out and take it down. And then adding, let's go green, kind of match the terrain. I want to bring it up to about this level, maybe carry it up, maybe a little higher than that. Let's just carry it up through this way. That'll go off that way. Now, the cliffs are going to be this whole area, and we'll kind of go from there. So just to start, I'm just going to kind of tear some of this out, and then I can kind of take you through how I build the cliffs. All right, there we are. It's flattened a little bit. Obviously, that's not how it's going to look. Maybe similar, but it gives us a general shape. Now, what we're going to do, actually, let me clear out these trees quick. We actually have a faster way of doing this. So with Axiom, which is what I'm using right now to delete these, there's a whole bunch of new functions that just makes life a whole lot easier when it comes to building. And that's actually what we're going to use. So if I press right shift, you can see I basically have a studio editor in Minecraft. And this is what we're going to use to build our cliffs. Now what I used for the other ones, I'm sure there's probably a better way, but the way I kind of experimented was with the rock tool. Basically, I can paint just these rocks up like this, and then I can kind of add on to them pretty much wherever I want. And this is how I created the other rocks. So what we're going to do, probably turn down the radius just a little bit, and we're just going to start placing probably smaller rocks, and we're going to keep a little bit of space between them so that we can kind of paint this in with our darker blocks and then make it look a little bit darker in between, kind of add some extra separation between the boulders. And I just kind of covered a tree there, so let's undo that, kind of erase these. But what I'm going to do is just kind of add a bunch of these little rocks using Axiom, and then we'll kind of go in and paint after, treat it like it's, well, a painting, and just color whatever we want. Now for this area over here, it's looking a little rough and kind of varies a lot in height. So we're just going to take out these trees quick so we can work on this area. And I'm going to use that same rock tool to get some basic terrain. And then we'll use the smooth tool to, well, smooth out the terrain. So let's just finish getting rid of these trees here. And then let's kind of just fill in this weird empty space with some rocks here. And then we'll use our smooth tool in just a minute, but let's make sure this is all kind of smooth, not smooth, but transitions pretty well. Maybe we'll kind of carve out where our path is going to go, make sure it leads up this way towards Duck's area, and then we'll probably cut this out and do the rest in survival. But for this area, let's take our smooth tool right here, and then all we're going to do is just drag over this area and just keep kind of smoothing out over and over again. We can take the tool again, go like this, kind of just keep messing with stuff until we get something that we like. So let's just smooth out this path area, and then we'll obviously color this later so it's not going to stay stone. I'm not liking this. We can always go in with our hand and just kind of sculpt things as we see fit, I guess. And then just fill in the extra blocks like that. And that's a lot better just for, I guess, path building. And now it kind of looks like there's a weird gap here. So let's, wrong tool. Let's grab our rock tool again and just kind of fill in a few boulders right over here. Let's try and not make them all long like that one, but kind of fill in this area like we did with the others. Alrighty, next up we are going to use our painter tool just like this. So we're going to set it to actually 0. So it might look like it's not actually 0, it's a 1 block thing. So let's take a look, and we are going to open up our select block menu here. And what we used on the main cliffs was a little bit of polished basalt, just to fill in these darker areas. So all we got to do is just hold right click and paint in our lines, just to kind of add some extra dimension between each of these boulders here. Just adding a little bit more shadow artificially to make this stand out just a little bit more. Now some of these are probably going to be repainted with moss and such, but I'm going to get these in first, and then we'll kind of add in a little bit extra texture. And already you can, obviously there's dirt and stuff in kind of mixed in, but you can already see that it's just the difference between these ones here and these ones over here. You can see just how much this accentuates each boulder with these lines. And anywhere there's a little gap just like that one, we can fill in with stone, and then we'll come over and color it again. We'll probably have to do a little bit down here since this kind of dips in maybe a little farther than I'd like. And then we'll just continue painting over each of these areas. And there we are. Now we're going to go in with, if we take a look over here, just to kind of show it off, turn up speed here. What we did over here was kind of tough below and then andesite for some highlights. And we're going to do something very similar over here, probably with just the same exact blocks. Turn down speed here. So all we're going to do is go in here, take tough. But this time we're going to turn up the radius just a little bit more, maybe a little less than that because you're smaller rocks and boulders. This is pretty much all we're going to do. And actually, I'm going to take back that. We're going to go in with moss first. So let's just kind of looking at wherever it kind of makes sense for vegetation to be growing. So on these flatter spots here, at top of these boulders, just like we did over on the boulders over there. And just a little extra thing that we can do. So we can edit a tool mask here, and we can set it to block equals stone, and it's already set actually by default. So that means I can't color any of this. None of this will turn to moss, but if I color stone, it does. So we're going to make sure we don't undo any of that basalt that we just painted in, and we're just only going to change the stone. And we're just going to go through the same process, just changing all the top of the stone into moss. And you can see after each step, it just gets a little bit more defined and a little bit better. So just going to keep chugging along and move on to the next one, which is tough, real this time. And what I did with tough in the last one was kind of just follow along where the moss is and kind of go underneath it, just as a darker spot. Adds a little bit more contrast, but just some extra texture as well. So we're just going to kind of add some smaller lines underneath where any moss is, and then color it in with tough. Now what we can also do is kind of bring it down into these lower areas near the basalt, and add some darker shadows just to accentuate just a little bit more, makes it look like it's a little bit deeper in there, just adding the extra darkness. All right, and now after tough, we're going to go in with andesite for our highlights. And we're just going to kind of on any of these spots that stick out a little bit more, add a little streak of andesite. It's probably not going to go on all of them, because some of them it just doesn't have the space or it doesn't make as much sense. But some of these, like right there, I actually think I missed some tough on this. So let's add a little bit there. And then we'll just kind of go around and do the same thing. Oop, looks like I did not select the right thing. All right, andesite. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of these that I would like to add andesite to, and I think pretty much it for the andesite. And there's not much more to do for the cliffs if we take a look at these ones in comparison to the ones we did earlier. I think getting the light gray wool like we did here on a few of those could help, and then the grass is going to do a lot, as well as mixing in some grass blocks with the moss, so it's not all just moss. So let's go ahead and add maybe a little bit of light gray wool. We are very fast. Let's see if we can find some light gray wool. There we go. We're going to turn this down to 1 block. Turn down our speed as well, if it will let me. There we go. That adds just that little bit more dimension. What we're actually going to do is place all of the grass, like this type of grass, in world. But what we can do is take the grass blocks, make sure let's set the filter to moss for this so that we're not editing anything else. See, moss block there, set this to active. And then we're just going to kind of take a few of these areas and replace them with a little bit of grass to kind of vary it up. And then over here, I believe it'll start turning into a little bit of more of a sprucey, kind of bluer grass, which I think might help transition this a little bit from super harsh green to more of the spruce. We'll just kind of add little patches here and there to help it smooth over from biome to biome and color to color. Alright, now we're going to actually just go in by hand here. Take some stone buttons and stone pressure plates like this, kind of sprinkle them around, add some new areas. And maybe we could even, I don't need a pressure plate in each of these. I kind of just got into a little bit of a groove there. Maybe one of these, like, I don't know, maybe that one could open the garage door from the outside, because that could be something that we're going to need in the future. But let's just sprinkle a few more of these buttons around. I'll take the schematic, and then we're going to head back into the world and build it. And now we have a second cliff. I'm already realizing how awkward this cuts off, so we'll definitely be expanding it in the future. But we're not going to do that anytime soon, just because I really need to get this video out since it's been way too long. But I have some ideas for what we can put out here that have to do with the team base right here. It is kind of an old factory, so I was thinking maybe a few pipes, and then if you guys have seen Mumbo's video, or I'm forgetting his name, Jake something, he made a cool animated fan using redstone, and I feel like that would fit out here. Just a bigger fan that's like an exhaust for the entire building. So definitely some pipes that are like kind of pouring out some water or something into the river. Maybe we can make it like green glass or something, but with that, I am going to finally end the video, and I'm going to go edit so I can get this video out for you guys, since it's been way too long, and I apologize for that. But we did quite a lot, so I guess a little recap. We did our part of the base here, like started January, which it's now March 8th when I'm recording this. It's been a hot minute. And then I believe we went to the train station, dug that out. That's still a work in progress. I think we might try and open it next episode. We'll see how that goes. Definitely some more digging that needs to happen, but we'll try and get there as fast as we can. And then we came back, built our mine shaft, which I'm just going to kind of work on off camera. I'm not going to do too much more on the video just because that's a little bit boring, and I've already shown you. Then we did our cliff, then the bridge, and then this cliff. And I'm gonna try next episode to keep it a little bit more focused, because we jumped around a lot this episode, partially because I've spread this across multiple months, and I need to kind of work on stuff. But I start spring break soon, so maybe I can get a little bit more done. Maybe a few more streams and stuff because I haven't streamed in a while either. But enough talking. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.